Welcome. My name is Colleen and I am with Shine On Yoga. I have Sam here and Fritz. So they're coming just to say hi. They might join us in and out. And as you can see, we have our Halloween practice. I am in full unicorn mode. If you have a costume, you can put it on too and practice with me. If not, it is okay. We're just going to have some fun this week. I do have a full practice for you. We'll have some fun with it. Nothing scary. So if you'd like to come along with me, we're going to start out in a nice comfortable seat on our mat. From there, if you'd like to grab any props, I guess before you actually sit down, some I recommend are blocks, bolsters, blankets. If you don't have any of those things, don't worry, you don't necessarily need them. And I think that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to come down in a nice little comfortable seat here. I'm going to try to. This makes it, I'm going to take off the little hood for a minute. It's a little warm. All right, so come down in your nice comfortable seat. If you'd like to sit up on something, you're more than welcome to, but you don't have to. We're just going to take a moment to drop in. You can close down the eyes, loosen through the jaw. Let those shoulders grow heavy and away from your ears. If it feels safe, you can close down the eyes. If not, you can just soften your gaze. We're going to take a few breaths just to get started. Nice big inhales and exhales. Let's take one more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. If your eyes are closed, you can open them back up around you. You can see my chaos. Hey, if you guys are going to do that, you can leave. No. You can lay down on the mat or you can leave. All right. So now we're going to twist it out a little bit. So I'm going to take my left palm and bring it to my right knee. I'm going to take my right fingers, swing them around behind me. On an inhale, we'll sit up nice and straight and tall. And on the exhale, go ahead and journey into that twist. Don't use that left arm to crank you over. We're just only going as far as it's comfortable in our bodies today. So inhale, we're sitting up nice and straight and tall. Exhaling, maybe journeying into the twist as Fritz beats me with his tail. Take some nice deep breaths here. No, go on. Take one more. And then exhale, we'll return to center. Take a breath, compare both sides, see how they feel. And then we'll move to the other side. So I'm going to take my right hand. It's just going to go on the top of my left thigh here. And take my left fingers. They'll come around behind me. Inhale, we'll sit up nice and straight and tall. And then exhale, we'll journey into that twist, looking over towards the left. Inhaling, maybe sitting up a little taller. And then exhaling, maybe journeying a little bit further into that twist. Take a few breaths here. Take one more. And then on the exhale, we'll return to center. Kind of feel it out. See how everything is kind of shaking up in the body so far. All right. Let's keep on stretching out our side bodies. So I'm going to take my right hand and just place it on the floor next to me. Inhaling, I'm going to reach my left arm up. Since I'm in this unicorn onesie, my mobility is a little bit limited, so we're just going to go up to where we can. On the exhale, you're going to cross that midline and come over, feeling a nice stretch in that left side body. Take a few breaths here. One more big inhale. And then exhale, return to center, take a breath, see how it feels. And when you're ready, left hand to the ground, right arm extended, take a nice inhale here. And then exhale, we'll cross that midline, coming over towards the left, feeling a nice stretch in our right side body. Keep breathing here. One more big inhale. And then exhale, we'll return to center. All right, so we're initially kind of stretched out. We're going to keep it going. Go ahead and journey to all fours. And we're going to come into a nice tabletop position. There you go. You can see my tail here. All right, so we're going to set up in a nice tabletop position. Knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. And on an inhale, we're going to drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the head. Feel a nice stretch in our front body coming into cow pose. Exhaling, we're going to drop the head, drop the tail around the spine, coming into cat pose. Cat pose. Inhaling, dropping that belly, coming into cow. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, feeling a nice big stretch as we come into cat. Let's do one more round. And then we'll go ahead and bring it to stillness. Now from here, bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. We're going to take our right hand kind of towards the center line of our mat. So if it's out here, we're going to move it to the center. And on an inhale, let's reach our left arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, we're going to thread the needle. We're going to take our left hand underneath our right and come onto our left ear, feeling a nice stretch in our back body here. You can bend that right arm, whatever you need to do to get into position, just kind of twisting it out a little bit to start. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, we'll come back up towards our tabletop position. Let's switch sides. So I'm going to move my left hand towards the center line. Inhale, I'll reach my right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, we'll thread the needle coming through on the other side. Right ear to the mat. Taking a breath. All right, after a few breaths there, we'll return to center. Go ahead and bring the knees in line with the hips. You can walk your hands forward, just one hand print in front of where they were. We'll tuck our toes under, take a breath. And then exhale, press into the feet, straighten through the legs, press back through the hands, let those heels grow heavy as we move into our first downward facing dog. If you'd like, you can walk your dog, bending one knee and then the other. Or you can just be in stillness, letting those heels grow heavy as you press away from the mat, feeling that nice stretch through the back body, through the legs, the calves. Take some nice big inhales and exhales here. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and plant that left foot down. We're going to lift our right toes up, keep them in line with the hip. Exhale, shift forward, bend that knee in towards your chest, and we're going to step that right foot in between our hands and lower down onto that left knee. Now, again, I'm in this little Halloween onesie today, so these It's kind of like MC Hammer pants. I can't come too far, but I can still make sure I'm set up. So nice 90-degree angle with the legs. You don't want to be going too far. If you're able to reach down and lift the chest up, you can. I'm going to stay up here today. And you can also always use blocks here, but if your mobility is a little bit more than mine is today, you can get down a little lower if you'd like. Pull that right hip crease back, left hip crease forward. Breathe. All right, and when you are ready, we're going to bring that left palm down to the mat. We're going to bring our right fingers up to the sky, coming into a little twist. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, we'll bring our left palm down to the mat, tuck those, right palm down to the mat, tuck your left toes under. We're going to step our right foot back to meet our left, and we're coming into a nice plank pose here. So you can be full plank, you can come to the knees and come into half plank. Completely up to you. We'll breathe. Make sure your hips aren't dipping too far down and that they're not coming all the way up, just a nice straight line. One more breath. And then exhale, we'll lower all the way down to the belly. You can untuck those toes, lower the head. Take a little break here. We're going to walk our hands underneath our shoulder points here. Elbows in tight to the sides. And on an inhale, we're going to slowly lift our forehead up, just looking forward, coming into a little baby cobra, warming up our upper back. Take some nice big breaths here. From here, go ahead and rise up to all fours. We'll tuck those toes under once again. Take a nice big inhale. And then on the exhale, we'll lift our knees up off the mat, straighten through the legs, back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here again. All right, when you're ready, let's plant our right foot down. We'll lift those left toes up, keep them dialed down towards the mat. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to bend that knee in towards our chest, shift forward, look forward, and we'll step the left foot in between our palms, lower down onto that right knee and leg. And again, if your mobility is a little bit limited like mine is today, just make sure that you are set up in a nice 90-degree angle. And again, in your low lunge, you don't have to be super low to the floor. We can bring our torso up. Just pull that left hip crease back, right hip crease forward. Breathe here. One more breath. And then exhale, we'll lower the right hand down to the mat. Let's lift our left palm up towards the sky, coming into a little twist. We'll breathe here. One more breath. And then exhale, we'll lower our left palm down. Let's tuck those right toes under, lift those right knee up. We'll step those left toes back. We're back into plank. Again, you can lower to your knees to come into half plank or stay in this high plank with me. One more breath. the exhale, we'll lower to the belly, untuck the toes, let the head kiss the earth. On an inhale, we'll rise up into cobra, or you can press through your hands, come up a little higher into full cobra. Now in this higher cobra, if you have any crunchiness in your lower back, lower down a little bit. You don't have to come up as high. Make sure you're not wearing your shoulders as earrings. Roll those shoulder blades back and down. Really let your heart center reach forward. Let it be open. One more breath. Exhale, we'll lower it back down. Now from here, I'm going to meet you back in downward facing dog. You can either go through all fours or you can come with me. I'm going to show you another way. So if you're coming with me on an inhale, take a nice big inhale here to start. And then on your exhale, you're going to press up into the top of your plank. Inhale again. And on the exhale, we'll lift our hips high. And let those heels grow heavy and move back into downward facing dog. Take a few big breaths here. We're going to get off the wrists in just a moment. All right, when you're ready, let's look at our hands and we're gonna make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can take a few baby steps, you can take big steps, you can jump, hop, float, however you wanna get up to the top. Once you reach there, keep a little slight bend in your knees. Inhale, we're gonna come up halfway. Keep a nice flat back. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. Take a few breaths here. All right, let's take one more inhale. And on your next exhale, we're going to slowly roll it all the way up until we're standing. And then once you're standing, take a moment, loop the shoulders up, back, and down. Stand up nice and tall. You can fix your clothing if you need to. Get any shakes out. And then once you feel settled, go ahead and move into stillness, just standing up nice and straight and tall. Chest open, arms at the sides, feet really nice and grounded into the earth. We're just going to take a few breaths here. Okay, so we got through our first initial flow. We have a second flow. We're going to build onto that first one, so be ready. On an inhale, let's reach our arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive it down. Shift your hips back, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it go. Take a breath here. Now from here, we're going to slide our left toes back, come up onto the ball of the foot. Go ahead and bend that right knee like we did in low lunge, and we're going to engage our core as we rise up. We're coming into a high lunge. So again, nice 90-degree angle with your right leg. Go ahead and pull that left hip or that left leg back. Pull your right hip crease back, left hip crease forward. Stand up nice and straight and tall. And when you're ready, you can reach your arms up to the sky. Take a nice big inhale. Here, exhale, sigh it out. And then just keep on breathing here, holding this high lunge for a few breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, we'll lower our hands down. Go ahead and find your mat. Are you guys ready for another set of lunge or planks? I hope so. We're gonna step our right foot back to meet our left, coming back into plank pose here, or you can go into half plank. Take a few breaths here. One more breath. Exhale, lower down to the belly. Inhale, rise up into your version of Cobra. Take a few breaths here. You can take any movements that feel good to you today. Breathe. One more breath. Exhale, we'll lower down, and from here I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Either come through all fours or you can come through plank. Yogi's choice. I'll meet you there. All right, side two. Let's plant that right foot down. We'll lift our left toes up, keep that hip dial down. On the exhale, we'll bend that knee in towards our chest, shift forward, look forward, and we'll step that left foot in between our palms. And then when you're ready, we're gonna rise up into our version of high lunge. Now, you might need to adjust your feet or your stance. So do what you need to do to get your foundation right. Pull that left hip crease back, right hip crease forward. And when you're ready, you can lift those arms up to the sky, coming into high lunge. Take a few breaths here. One more breath. And then exhale, we'll lower the hands down, back to the mat. We'll step our left foot back to meet our right, coming back into another plank. Keep breathing here. We have lots of planks today. This is a great core strengthener. One more breath. And exhale, we'll lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, we'll rise up into Cobra. Take a few breaths here. Stretch out that front body. Practice pulling those shoulder blades back and down, opening up the heart center. One more breath here. And then exhale, we'll lower it back down. And I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. If you're feeling really hot on your inhale, or a way to cool it down is through lion's breath. So you can inhale, and then on the exhale, you'll open your mouth and stick out your tongue as you exhale. So we can try that if you're getting a little warm. Nice big inhale. Exhale, tongue out. You can even make a noise. It's kind of fun. If anyone's dressing up as a lion for Halloween, you can definitely use that as a breathwork practice. One more breath here. Exhale, let it go. We're gonna make our way back up to the top of the mat. Let's get off our hands for just a moment. Nice little bend in the knees. We'll inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. Take a few breaths. When you're ready, we'll slowly roll it all the way up to standing. Go ahead and come into your mountain pose. Again, if you need to make any adjustments, go ahead and do that. And then when you're ready, we'll stand up nice and straight and tall back into our mountain pose. Take a few breaths here. You can even close down the eyes if you'd like. All right, we have one more flow. This is our third and final flow, and then we'll start to cool it down after that. So on an inhale, we'll reach again for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Take a few breaths here. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and plant your palms onto the mat. We're going to step our left foot back. Go ahead and turn it out at a nice little 45-degree angle so that way it's pointing towards the top left corner of your mat. We're going to bend through the right front foot or right front leg, try and get into that nice 90-degree angle. And then we're going to rise up, use our abs to rise up just like we did for high lunge. But this time we're coming into warrior one. So we're still going to square our hips towards the front of the mat. Pull that right hip crease back, left hip crease forward. And then we'll lift our arms up to the sky, warrior one. Breathe here for a moment. Of course, an ad is playing with my music. All right, when you're ready, we'll lower our hands down. Go ahead and interlace them behind. Stretch them out long and away. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our torso towards the front of our right thigh. Now, you can stay here if this is in your practice, or you can lower your head towards the mat, coming into humble warrior, stretching those arms up tall and away from you. And so go ahead and pick your option. We'll take a few breaths here. Now from here, we're going to lower the hands. Go ahead and release the palms. Try not to have the slingshot effect where you just let it go and they fly either way. Go ahead and release those hands with intention. We're going to bring them to the mat. Pivot on that left foot. You might have to step it back a little bit. We're going to come down onto that left knee and come back into our nice low lunge on the right side. Whew. Take a breath here. That is not a good place for you, sir. It is not. All right. From here, walk your right foot out to the edge of the mat. Let the toes spill off the mat. Try to bring your hands down to the mat. I'm going to use my blocks today, just again because my mobility due to the onesie is a little off. But you're going to lift your chest up. We're coming into a little lizard variation. So this is going to really open up that right side. We're going to do it on the other side, so you'll see it a little better there. Keep breathing here. One more breath. And then exhale. I'm going to remove my blocks. We'll walk our foot back in line. And when you're ready, we'll pick that left leg up, step our right foot back, another plank. Breathe here. One more breath. Exhale, let's lower to the belly. I'm gonna lower onto Sam here. And then when you're ready, we'll rise up into Cobra. He's perfectly fine taking up my space, but when I take up his space, he's not having it. Exhale, we'll lower down. And from here, I'll meet you back in downward facing dog. All right, let's take a few breaths here. We have another side to do, and then we'll start to cool it down. All right, when you're ready, let's plant our right foot into the mat. Or actually, let's plant the right foot into the mat. We'll lift those left toes up, keep the toes dialed down. As you exhale, we'll shift forward, we'll bend that knee in towards our chest. We'll step our left foot in between our hands. Go ahead and maybe walk that right foot in just a tad bit. We'll turn it at that 45-degree angle as we're setting up for Warrior One. And then when you're ready, go ahead and rise up. Really engage those abs. Again, if you need to adjust your stance once you're up, go ahead and do so. I need to. Try and get a 90-degree angle on that front leg. Really press into the knife edge of that back leg. Hips are going to be squared towards the front of your mat. When you're ready, you can reach your arms up to the sky, Warrior One. And we'll breathe. One more breath here. And then exhale, we'll lower our arms down. Go ahead and interlace your fingers. Take the opposite bind, so the one that feels funny. We'll reach our arms away. Inhale. And then we'll start to bend forward, bringing our torso to the top of our thigh. Now maybe you stay here, or maybe you journey deeper, coming into Humble Warrior. Breathe. From here, we'll release the palms to the mat gently. Maybe step that, or pivot on that right foot. Go ahead and come it down onto that right knee. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked. We're going to come into a low lunge again on this side. Again, you can use blocks or you can come down all the way to the floor. We'll breathe here. All right, and then when you're ready, we'll walk that right foot out to the edge of our mat. Go ahead and turn those toes up off the mat, and then you can reach your hands forward. Again, I'm going to use blocks because my mobility is limited today. You can use blocks, or if you're able to reach down to the floor, you can. We're going to keep our heart lifted up as that knee kind of goes out to the side, coming into this little lizard variation. Breathe here. All right, when you're ready, we're going to move into our final plank. So walk that left foot back in. We'll tuck our right toes under. Lift that right knee up off the mat. We'll step our left toes back to meet our right. Plank. Final plank. Make it the best one yet. One more breath. And then we'll lower all the way down to the belly. Whew. Inhale for Cobra. Take a few breaths here. This is our final one. exhale, let it go. All right, from here I'll meet you guys in our final downward facing dog. All right, from there, start to walk your feet in towards the center of your mat. Walk your hands back. Lift your heels up and sit back so you're coming into kind of a little froggy squat. Take a few breaths here. Just kind of transitioning. We're going to move to our backs here in a moment. All right, and then when you're ready, we'll bring one hand behind and then the other. Go ahead and come down to your seat. We'll stretch our legs out long and away. You might need to recenter yourself on the mat a little bit. And if you'd like to use a bolster or a blanket here to put on your legs for this next move, you can. Otherwise, let's all bend our knees a little bit. On an inhale, we'll reach our arms up to the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to reach towards our toes. Now, you might be able to grab your toes. Maybe you can only grab your ankles or your pant leg or behind your legs. That's perfectly fine. Go to where you can grab. And then if you'd like, you can straighten one leg and then the other and come down into this forward fold. Basically trying to bring your nose to your knees. But if it doesn't reach, that's okay. Take a few breaths here. We're just stretching out the back of the legs and the lower back. After a few breaths, we'll go ahead and rise back up and we're going to make our way onto our backs. So go ahead and come to a nice flat back position here. And we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest and give ourselves a little hug. Take a few breaths here. Okay, from here, let's let the feet go. Let them make contact with the mat. Keep your knees bent. And we'll lift our left leg up. You can maybe point and flex it if you'd like a few times. Get some movement into it. And then we're going to cross that left ankle over the right knee. Now for some, you'll want to stay here. You'll be feeling it in this position. If you're not quite feeling it yet, lift that right knee or the right foot up off the ground. Shin parallel to your mat. And if you want a little extra, you can take your hands through your legs, just threading the needle, and you can bring your hands around the back of your right thigh or around that right shin for a deeper stretch. So pick your option in this figure 4 stretch. Take a few breaths here. You can rock side to side if it feels good. Or you can just be in stillness. Feel a nice stretch on the outer left thigh here. One more big inhale. And then exhale, we'll let that right leg go. Uncross the left leg from the right, and then we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to bring my right foot up to the sky. You can point and flex, maybe some ankle circles, whatever feels good to you here. And then we'll cross that right foot over the left knee. When you're ready, you can stay here. Maybe lift that left foot up, and then maybe take a bind. Take a few breaths here, whatever position you choose. Again, you'll feel a nice stretch on the outer thigh of your right leg. One more breath. And then exhale, we'll let it go. Uncross the leg. All right, let's go ahead and bring the knees back in towards our center one last time. You don't necessarily have to hug them. We're gonna move into one final twist. So let's bring our arms out to like a big Texas T here. We're gonna bring our knees over to one side, so you can pick whichever side you'd like. Try and keep your shoulder blade on the opposite side on the ground, and then look over at the opposite hand. Take a few breaths here. One more big inhale. And then exhale, we'll return everything to center. Take a breath. And then we'll go to the other side. So move your knees to the opposite side. Look over past the opposite hand. Now on this side, I do have a bolster on the other side, so my knees are kind of resting on that. That is always an option. You can use a bolster, you can use a pillow, you can use blankets, really anything you have around the house that'll bring the ground up to you if you need to use those tools. One more breath here. And then as we exhale, we'll bring it back to center. Go ahead and set your feet down. You can stretch one leg out long and away and then the other. Let your body take up space on your mat. We're going to move into our final posture for today. It's called Shavasana, or the corpse pose. If you like to use props during your practice, you're more than welcome to. If you don't have props, that's okay. All you need is yourself. So from here, we're just going to take up space. We're going to take a quiet moment to thank ourselves for showing up to practice and taking this time to work on ourselves. We're also going to thank and acknowledge our body for moving with us and for supporting us on this journey. If you'd like to close down the eyes, you can, or you can just soften the gaze. We're going to take some nice big breaths here and just kind of relax, let everything marinate. I am going to go quiet for a moment, but I will be back shortly to guide you out of this final resting posture. So for this practice, the card I pulled today is Chameleon Spirit, and its message is to act as if. Chameleon Spirit shares her gift with you today to prepare you for changes that will greatly benefit you. Outer conditions are changing, and you're required to come into harmony with them so you can co-create your greatest dream. Feeling sensitive? Good, because that will come in handy, enabling you to determine how best to adapt to your environment and the people in it, while at the same time maintaining your integrity and inner equilibrium. Even if you feel like you're in uncharted territory, Chameleon Spirit has complete faith in your ability to fit in and learn the lay of the land, adapting as necessary. This is a fortunate time to act as if and do as others do until the new ways feel familiar and completely natural. Life is offering you a great lesson now. Adapting isn't about losing yourself. It's about learning how to dance with others. If you would like to stay in your Shavasana, then go ahead and stay as long as time allows. If you are ready to move on with your day, then slowly start to deepen your breaths. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes, just bringing some life back into them. And when you're ready, set one foot on the mat and then the other. Just keep them there for a moment. And finally, whenever you feel ready, go ahead and roll to your favorite side. Come into a little fetal position and take a few deep breaths there just as you come back into the room around you. Right, whenever you are ready, go ahead and return to a nice comfortable seat, bringing your head and neck up last. When you're ready, you can start to blink your eyes open if they're not already, coming back into the world around you. So I hope after that practice you feel really strong. We did a lot of planks. We did a lot of work on our legs, holding those positions. So it was definitely a strengthening practice. It was a little bit of a longer one. So I hope you feel strong. I hope you feel nice and energized and rejuvenated. We have some heat built up. Make sure to drink lots of water today or whenever you practice this. Thank you to those on the live. Thank you for the love. Thank you for practicing with me in real time. I know it's a little early for the Halloween, but for those of you on the live, if you're new here, I do have a YouTube channel. It is called Shine on Yoga LLC. The link is in my bio on TikTok, so if you're interested, you can check that out. All of these practices I put there as a replay. They're completely free to use, so if you'd like to go back, maybe you're just watching this time, and you want to go back and practice later from the beginning, that will be on there. My goal is to have that on there and ready to go before Halloween, obviously. And actually that will get done. It's usually the beginning of the week, so if you want to follow me on TikTok, I usually put a little blurb in my stories when it's up. Or again, you can subscribe on YouTube and that will notify you as soon as I get that replay up. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending your time and energy and your practice with myself and with anyone practicing on the live, even if it's not at the same time. I think we're still all practicing together in a way. I think that is about it. So I hope you guys have a great week. I will be back next Wednesday with a brand new practice for November. So if you are on the live, or even if you're watching the replay and you want to join the live, you can hop over to TikTok and find me there. And I will see you next week. I hope you guys have a good one. Namaste.